Thank you for joining. Okay, so today is going to be another one of my nurse stories. I promise, though, that the next story will be an update on one of my fictional stories. So, part 3, part 2, part 4, whatever it is, whatever I decide I'm going to throw up there to update, I promise you will be satisfied. But today is a nurse story. So, a couple of years ago, I had started this contract on a pre-op unit. And on my first day, I was super excited, mainly because prior to that, I hadn't been working for a long time and I had been really sick, so I was really looking forward to that check. I had never been so satisfied to work in my life. Anyways, so I met the charge nurse, I met the supervisor, I met my coworkers. And I would love to say that everybody seemed cool, but then I'd be a liar. And we can't be out here lying unless I'm telling you that it's fiction. But this right here is real. So my charge nurse, I felt like she was a little weird. My supervisor, I felt like she was very false. Yes. But I was just there to make some money, okay? So I just looked past it. I was like, I'm not trying to be anybody's best friend. I'm not trying to be a BFF. I just need to make this money. So anyways, fast forward maybe 2-3 weeks into the contract, I had gotten a very upsetting phone call. And the phone call was from another country. My family's not American. And it was, I don't know if I said this already, but it was maybe about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was being told that a family member had unexpectedly passed away. So I was devastated, beside myself, very hurt, and I already knew that I was not going to be able to keep it together at work. So I couldn't really remember how to call out, so instead what I did was I just sort of texted the numbers that I had, the charge nurse's number, the supervisor's number, and I think there was like an assistant supervisor. I don't know. I texted people to let them know, listen, I'm not going to be there. I got some really bad news. Just lost a family member. I'm sorry if it's last minute. I don't see myself keeping it together enough to be able to come to work and perform professionally. I just need a couple of days. I just need to connect with my family, reconnect with my family. Mind you, I couldn't even really truly travel because this was when borders were beginning to close down due to our lovely, lovely friend, COVID. But still, I didn't want to go to work feeling that way. So, I hadn't heard back from anybody until about 9 o'clock that morning. And mind you, I had been sending out this text between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So I get a phone call from the charge nurse, and she's like,
Ashley, where are you?
I was like, well, I'm not there, and I did send you a text. Also, I don't know that it's your business where I'm at right now, considering that I did notify you and 3 other people in charge of the schedule that I wouldn't be there. And she's like,
well, I didn't receive any notification.
Okay, so then let me just give you a really quick update on what's going on. Just found out that I lost a family member. I don't want to be at work while dealing with this emotionally turmoiling issue. Okay? I don't even know if turmoiling is a word. But still, all I was trying to say was, I don't want to be there during this time. And you should understand that. And if you don't, tough shit. You know what this biscuit-eating bulldog said to me? She said,
well, it is disappointing and sad that you are this willing to disappoint your team.
My team. My team. I was so distraught. Still a blubbering mess. She started talking about some other shit, and I hung up the phone. And I called my recruiter. And at this point, I'm just super emotional. I'm still crying about the death. I'm still crying about my family crying. And now this lovely individual just put the cherry on top to my already fragile emotions. I don't really give 2 shiitake mushrooms about her or my team. But that's not what you want to hear after you find out and then also notify someone that your loved one passed away. So I'm crying to my recruiter. I'm fussing to her. I'm on the phone. Just sort of looking for some encouraging or like reassuring words. And she says,
Well, you know, she is stressed out. Staffing has been tough.
now keep in mind, y'all, right before this, I had been off for a long time. I was broke. So as much as I wanted to make a stand and walk away from that contract, I couldn't. So I said, you know what? That was the most disappointing response I could have ever gotten from you. Not an ounce of support was in it. And she's like,
Ashley.
and I hung up on her as well. Priorities. I'm not about to stress myself out about you two inconsiderate, just mindless, thoughtless, selfish individuals. No. But here's the best part. I go back to work. This individual would not make eye contact with me. I don't care. It's been a few days. I don't care. But here's where it gets better. Maybe about a week and a half later, she calls a meeting to the nurses' station. After we are all done seeing our patients, we all need to come to the nurses' station. So we're at the nurses' station, and I see that she's beginning to get a little bit of a croak in her throat. You know, like when you're talking and you feel yourself about to cry and your voice breaks. Except hers seemed a little superficial, like it was produced rather than, you know, I guess, intrude. So she's like,
You know, there comes a time where you have to put your work responsibilities aside to put your family responsibilities first.
I said, ain't this about a biscuit eating bulldog? Not a single tear is coming down this lady's face. Not one. But she's just distraught, just devastated, and so heartbroken to have to leave her team behind because she knows how important it is to be there for them. Huh? I said, wow. Wow. She said,
Yes, I know.
I said, wow, I am so glad that you are able to do this, to take this leave of absence, to be there for your family at a time like this. Everyone's super quiet. She looks away, and then she looks back at the crowd of nurses, and she says,
I just wanted to say goodbye the right way.
you know that you're crying the wrong way. There aren't any tears leaving your eyes. So, you can keep that goodbye, bitch. You can keep it. Anyways, fast forward. There was this lovely supervisor who kept on trying to bring me on board to work there. And it just always seemed like something would get in the way of interviewing me. And I'm like, honey, let me remind you, I didn't say that I wanted to work here. Stop doing all of this. You don't need to put on this performance. I don't like any of you. Not a single person on this management team. Go sit down. Needless to say, I started working a couple of months later. Not even a couple of months later, maybe like a couple of years later. I was working at this other facility, and somebody had mentioned the name of that other facility that I was just telling you the story about. And they were like,
That charge nurse there was the worst.
and I was like, girl, it is so nice to hear someone else say that. Let me tell you, nurses in charge, they are really something else. It is not for the weak to be a nurse. It is not for the weak. Anyways, I'm glad it was a contract. I got out of there, finished the contract early because I was offered a job, a permanent job. I didn't stay there permanently. It was like a per diem, but I definitely started working there more often until I could, line up another contract. Either way, lesson learned. Nobody cares about you. Not a single person in management gives two sheets about you, your family, anything that you're going through. If you need the time off, take it off. No questions asked. Thank you for joining.
I still love you.